Today we're looking at Frank Beyer's 1966 DEFA drama Trace of Stones, released from Eureka as part of their Masters of Cinema series number 348. And this is most definitely a film with a history, a film that was pulled from cinemas, a film that changed the image that the state wanted to protect, and a film that now feels like a fascinating window into East German cinema, politics, work, power and human compromise.
Meine Herren, das ist keine öffentliche Badeanstalt. Wir baden nicht, wir hüten
At the centre of this is Hans Bala, played by Manfred Krug, a charismatic, rough-edged leader of a work crew. And as we're introduced to these characters, you can tell that they are playing hard and that they work just as hard. And Bala is great at getting things done. He doesn't always do it by the book, and if the materials are missing, he will, let's be nice and say, bend the rules a little bit. If the official system gets in the way, he'll just push it aside. He's loud, he's physical, rebellious, and immediately a magnetic personality in this film. He is someone that I was drawn to immediately. I liked this character. He was far from perfect. He was aggressive but likeable. It was a strange mix.
Hoffentlich haben Sie dir die Arbeitsschutzbestimmungen erklärt. Hier holt sich nämlich öfter einer eine Beule. Hoppla.
To bring order to the site, the Socialist Union Party sends in Horath to oversee the operations, and at the same time they send in a new engineer called Katie, a woman entering a very male-dominated position where everybody instantly has an opinion about her. And from there, the film becomes a fascinating and unique kind of triangle of force. Bala, he represents the sort of labour, the charisma and the rule breaking. Horath, he is the party, the structure, the political idealism. And Katie represents the modernity, professionalism, that she is being underestimated. And the relationships between these three characters and how it affects everyone else becomes the crux of the story.
Steigen Sie hier auf ein Gerüst, dann liegt doch die ganze Baustelle auf dem Rücken und dreht Ihnen die Augen unter den Rock.
Wissen Sie nicht, dass Frauen auch Hosen tragen?
You have Bala, a man who likes Katie, likes what she brings, likes how she tries to stand up for herself in this male-dominated world and tries to be herself. He likes that she will push beyond her expectations and try to get things done. When you have Horath, the man who is the political party leader here and someone who just wants to get things done quickly, easily and as cheaply as possible with as little pushback. He is a man of structure and would seem disciplined, but it never quite goes that way. And you have these two characters clashing almost immediately. They do not like each other. What each person represents is something that the other person absolutely loathes, but they need an intermediary to kind of work between them, which is where Katie comes into it. She's judged straight away as a woman first, but there's an interesting nature to this. You know, Bala looks at her, sees the woman, hears the comments, but almost becomes protective of her. He listens to her, he relates to her, and that's where she can start to win him over.
Lassen Sie uns jetzt nicht im Stich.
Pass mal auf, wenn ich jetzt aufstehe. Mache ich ihn öffentlich zur Sau. Wollen Sie das?
What you don't realise is that Horath and Katie are having a relationship, and he is kind of whispering in her ear, and she in turn is whispering in Bala's ear, and this creates this battlefield within a workplace. It's not just a building site, it is a battlefield of ideas. We have workers trying to hit their targets, managers trying to maintain order, party officers trying to protect the ideology of everything, and engineers trying to make practical decisions on the fly. And everything is trapped between what is should be happening on paper and what in reality is actually happening. And it works in such a really subtle level. It doesn't hide its thematics, but it conceals them within the wonderful triangle of characters and story.
Wenn ich stundenlang zuhören. Aber womit auf Kosten von Horror? Warum sagst du nicht schlicht und einfach, ich habe die Welt nicht verstanden, ich verstehe die Welt immer noch nicht, weil ich ein Arschloch bin?
And watching the film now, you can see why it could have problems. Not because it's crude propaganda against the GDR, it's more troubling than that. It's more nuanced. It shows people trying to make the system work, but being undermined by the pride, desire, and the other aspects, outside forces which are stopping them. And it's that kind of criticism that's harder to dismiss because it feels observed rather than exaggerated. It's based within realism. It's with people trying to work on that system and it just not quite working. The black and white photography is stunning. These varied landscapes of sheds where the people rest or the building sites where they work are really textualized and add something nice to the vision of the film. The performances and tone are absolutely incredible, and I found myself drawn into the character work here more than anything. That was the fascinating angle that I took from this. I loved spending time with these characters. I flip-flopped on who was doing the right thing. I could see them all trying to play the game their own way, and it just wasn't working for anyone. And you have that avenue of several people trying several different ways to make a system work. At which point do you recognise that the system is the issue?
Alles gut gegangen?
Ja, danke.
Wir brauchen Sie noch am Rückkehrwerk, Sie kommen später zu euch.
This is the kind of film I love seeing from Eureka. It really creates a conversation. It is historically contextualised by the events around about it. The restoration is great, and it's not just a film, it's a historical object. It's something that belongs within the Masters of Cinema series. Let's dive into the disc and have a look at some of the extras. Here we are in the disc of Trace of Stones. Let's look at the extra material. First up we have Trace of Time, an archival documentary which runs at 1 hour, 1 minute and 40 seconds, and this is an archival documentary on the director Frank Beyer. He is regarded as one of the most important East German filmmakers. You get a lot of information about him and about this film in particular as well. Next we have The 11th Plenum, another archival documentary. This one runs for 46 minutes 58 seconds, and it's all about the censorship that was there without real form, and how it would just change and it would hold things back and manipulate the system, and how it was really oppressive. Finally we have the Children's Home archival documentary, which runs at 25 minutes 27 seconds, and it's a kind of fly on the wall looking at an East German children's home that was banned until after the fall of the Berlin Wall. Also included in this set is a 20-page booklet with the essay "We Could Use a Little More Courage, Audience Responses to the Banning of Trace of Stones." It kind of focuses on all the reactions to the film being banned. It has an unearthed letter to a newspaper from readers complaining about the film's ban, and it's a kind of fascinating time capsule. And that's the extras for Trace of Stones. Here we have it. Trace of Stones is a fascinating, intelligent and politically charged drama. It wasn't always easy viewing, but I was always compelled and driven along by the story. Performances were great, particularly Manfred Krug, who I thought as Bala was just a standout here. This is a really strong film and one that I would recommend checking out. I would love to know your thoughts on Trace of Stone. If you have seen it, let me know in the comment box below whether you picked this one up and haven't got to it yet, whether you're going to pick it up, or if you've seen it, your thoughts on the film. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.